So this happened, and I am extremely upset. What the hell is happening with the official release of the Doom Eternal soundtrack? It has been well over a year since Bethesda and id Software promised that on April of 2020, the game's soundtrack will be released on Spotify and other platforms. And well, fast forward to August 2021, there's not a single trace of the soundtrack being on that platform, and both Bethesda and id Software have been dead silent on that topic. I mean, I know it is a sensitive topic for everyone in the studio, knowing how stuff went down between both parties, Bethesda/id Software and Mick Gordon, but as a fan of this franchise, it just breaks my heart that whenever I go to an official Doom Eternal stream, QuakeCon, game director playthrough, Discord server, Discord Doom chat or whatever, a ton of people are asking whether or not the official soundtrack will release on Spotify eventually, or if that's an already dead topic and we should never talk about it again. And look, nobody knows what truly happened behind closed doors between Mick Gordon and the studio. All we know is that Mick had a little bit of an attitude at the later arc of production, and that id Software/Bethesda had given a pretty unreasonable deadline on completing the soundtrack, even though it had more tracks than Doom 2016, with almost double the tracks than its predecessor. And I hate to break it to you, my friend, in this manner, I do not want to sound like a complete and fucking asshole, but I really don't care about what happened behind closed doors between the studio and its composer. If one thing is certain, is that Bethesda/id Software promised that they were going to release the official version of the soundtrack on Spotify and other platforms, and well, it's been well over a year and a half since that promise, and nothing has happened. Look, I'm not here to shit on the studio by any means. Please do not get the wrong idea. They have done a fantastic job maintaining this game post-launch, from DLC expansion, seasonal updates every single month, to content updates, etc. Doom Eternal right now is thriving. It is an amazing game, but one thing they have mishandled so much, to the point that it feels like fucking taboo mentioning it on chat, streams, Discord servers, etc., is about why the soundtrack hasn't been released. It is a very stupid topic to be talking about, but here I am. And in a game like fucking Doom, where the soundtrack makes well over 50% of the whole experience, well, what the hell? Back in 2020, people couldn't believe that Mick Gordon's new album came with a free game, and one that absolutely slaps hard for sure. Mick Gordon, just like Michael Salvatore and Mario Tunnel, etc., has become an icon of this industry, and musically speaking, has become the face of Doom. So why in the living hell can the studio set out their differences with this man and let him finish what he started and release it to the public? No one in this world would have a problem with that. Not me, not you, no one. So why the hell not? Look man, the Doom Eternal soundtrack slaps really goddamn hard. That's how a lot of people, myself included, discovered the existence of this man. Modern Doom wouldn't be the same if it wasn't for Mr. Gordon. This may sound like I'm sucking his toes and the likes, but that couldn't be further than the truth. I'm just giving credit where credit is due. There's a lot of people in this industry that are equally as talented or even better than Mr. Gordon. And I am not saying that the audio department at id Software sucks complete ass, so please do not get the wrong idea. The audio department at id Software have done a fantastic job as well, and honestly, who am I to criticize their work? I am not even a musician or an audio engineer. I do not have the right to criticize them. I'm just a simple YouTuber. Yes, there is a noticeable difference in quality between the songs Mick Gordon was able to mix to the ones that id Software did. I mean, I have ears, but honestly, this wasn't their fault. If there was enough time to finish a soundtrack, then it would have been done. But since the collector's edition of Doom Eternal contained a mixtape with the full soundtrack, id Software and Mick Gordon were obligated to finish mixing the soundtrack even before the game came out. Compare that to how the Doom 2016 soundtrack came out 6 months after the game's release. Adding a mixtape with the Doom Eternal soundtrack to the collector's edition was just a simple mistake, in my opinion. But okay, the studio and Mick Gordon weren't able to finish the soundtrack in time how they wanted, and because of that they parted ways back in early 2020. Still, that doesn't excuse how poorly they have managed this whole ordeal with the official soundtrack release. I cannot be the only one waiting for this to hit Spotify and other platforms and finally be able to work out like a fucking mad lad. And if one thing is true, is that the soundtrack, even though it was promised to come out back in April of 2020, a year and a half ago, has not been and will not be released. Apparently. This comes straight from Mick Gordon's Twitter account. In quotes, "I've made many offers to redo the Doom Eternal OST over the past year, but I cannot get them to say yes. What to do?" I mean, come on man, yes, Mick Gordon did throw its audio team under the bus, and there's proof of that on the comments he made on Instagram and other platforms. Yes, it was a shitty thing to do, and I am not excusing his behavior, his actions in any shape or form, but not everyone is perfect, man. I know I'm not perfect and would have probably reacted the same way if they gave me an impossible deadline to meet. I don't know, I am not a professional. For everyone saying that they would have acted in a different manner are just full of poo-poo and pee-pee and complete shit. Everyone has a good plan till they are punched in the face. This isn't about Bethesda, its software, or even Mick Gordon. This is about hardcore fans that have supported this franchise for well over 27 years, and my very good friend Under the Mayo could not have said it better. In quotes, "I won't pretend to know everything that went down, but it's so hard to imagine the next game without you. It's hard to imagine because his signature sound is part of Doom as a product, and as a marketer, Daddy Hugo Madsen should understand this better than anyone. A brand needs to have complete coherence between all of its parts." I know I will sound like an entitled little bitch while saying this fact, but without the fans, the franchise would be dead, and that applies with everything. Movies, video games, music, food chains, I don't care, it applies to everything. Do not make a fan a promise if you know you can't keep it. I'm pretty confused as to why they are denying Mick to finish the soundtrack. My guess is that that would be a paid gig, a paid job, a paid project. No one is willing to work for free, especially now of course. If money is the problem, just slap the finished soundtrack when it is finished onto a physical vinyl and sell it on the Bethesda store. Bam. Profit. I should be a businessman. But honestly, this is just a sad turn of events where everyone involved were at fault. Mick Gordon was at fault for acting the way he did, its Software and Bethesda were at fault for the administration and the management of the project. I mean, yeah, it was a pretty impossible deadline. 48 tracks for 3 months, where Doom 2016 were 31 and had like 6 to 8 months to work. Yeah, it was pretty bad management, but still that doesn't excuse how Mick Gordon reacted. So yeah, everyone in this whole ordeal is at fault, but come on, just please put your differences aside and think for the fans. Do it for the fans of this franchise. Everyone in Doom loves Mick Gordon's work. That man is a legend. As I said, this is just a sad turn of events where everyone involved were at fault, but that's okay. Mistakes can be made. Not everyone is perfect, and that's fine. What's not okay is not fixing those mistakes you did. Thanks for watching and have an awesome weekend. Adios. Bye.